want to welcome everybody here today. I am Senator Michael Skindell. I represent the 23rd Senate District in Cleveland, and I was no vote on House Bill 1 in the General Assembly. And today we have filed, and we as myself, as a citizen of the state of Ohio, as a taxpayer of the state of Ohio, as the senator from the 23rd District, Representative Dennis Murray, also as a citizen, a taxpayer, and a representative in the Ohio House of Representatives. And joining us as plaintiffs is ProgressOhio, and we have filed a lawsuit today with regard to the constitutionality of House Bill 1, JobsOhio. That lawsuit names as defendants the Governor, John R. Kasich, the Director of the Ohio Department of Development, and the Director of Office of Budget and Management. Why those three people are named in the lawsuit is House Bill 1 provides that they have certain duties and responsibilities under House Bill 1, and this legislation is a declaratory judgment and an action for injunctive relief from them, one, declaring that this is unconstitutional, and two, enjoining them from implementing JobsOhio. Everyone in this state is in favor of economic development, and the Constitution tries to balance between corporate welfare and true economic development. There are ways to do House Bill 1 that would follow the Ohio Constitution, but House Bill 1 did not do so. This is not a Democrat or a Republican issue. It is about the Ohio Constitution and adhering to the Ohio Constitution. I and every member of the legislature and the statewide office holders took an oath to uphold the Ohio Constitution. And since this new law, JobsOhio, is so obviously unconstitutional, we have no choice but to step in. We are, and we stand for, a strong Department of Development in Ohio that helps with economic development and brings jobs and holds jobs in the state. We are for doing those things that bring businesses here and revitalize our state. We are for having Ohio to be the place where businesses and families want to move. But we cannot bend the Ohio Constitution in accomplishing those goals. And that is why this lawsuit has been filed in the Ohio Supreme Court to adhere to the Ohio Constitution. At this time, I would like to introduce and bring forward to the podium Ms. Victoria Ullman. She is a citizen of the state of Ohio as well as an attorney, and she came before the Senate Finance Committee and raised many of the constitutional issues regarding the failures of House Bill 1. Her concerns fell on deaf ear in the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House of Representatives. Ms. Ullman.
Thank you. I don't have a lot to add to what Senator Skindell said, other than whenever I noticed or became concerned that Mark Kwame could not serve as Director of Development, I went on the internet to try to determine if there was any, internet chatter, if anybody else had noticed it, and found it instead that people were raising concerns about the entire bill. So at that point, I thought that I needed to do some legal research on the matter just as a citizen, and found that there was so much wrong with this statute. Well, it was just a bill at the time, that the General Assembly appeared to me to have become a lawyer-free zone. So I prepared extensive written remarks and did come and address most of the concerns that are in the complaint in both oral and written remarks to the Senate. And after my testimony, Senator Skindell asked me to assist him if the act became a law. And that is why I'm offering my services at this time. Thank you.
I'd like now to bring forward the executive director of one of the plaintiffs, which is ProgressOhio, and Mr. Brian Rothenberg.
Thank you, Senator. And I want to thank Victoria for first pointing out some of these inconsistencies. It is always, regardless of what position you have, a sobering moment when you have to decide whether to file a lawsuit against a sitting governor. Unfortunately for us, this is the second time this year we felt the need to do that, and it is over constitutional issues. I think the interest of political expediency does not trump the Ohio Constitution, which for over 150 years has existed in this state, and every other governor has managed to abide by it and create jobs, including when this state was an industrial powerhouse. I don't think that there is any question here on a number of different issues about the constitutionality of this bill. And I might add, in yesterday's Columbus Dispatch, in an article that was written about JobsOhio, I believe Senator Grendell, a Republican senator here, had indicated that it was his belief that this bill is unconstitutional. Specific to this bill, there are a number of things that we believe are unconstitutional, 7 different things. One has to do with the original jurisdiction. We had to file this in the Supreme Court, and one of the reasons, I know some of you were asking for a copy of this earlier, we were having discussions about what to file and how to file it, because it is so strange to have to file any kind of an action like this in the Ohio Supreme Court. That was a bit of legislative trickery, I believe, to bring it into a court that has a partisan stacking. But I believe, and I have faith in the Ohio Supreme Court, that paramount is their concern about the Constitution and how long the Constitution lasts, and that they will put their partisanship away when it comes to reviewing this issue. It also limits redress. One of the reasons we are here today rather than on July 18th is because it declared that this bill had to become effective at the time of the governor's signature, and you only had 60 days. So therefore we had to file it before tomorrow, in order to meet that standard. It confers corporate powers which is a violation of Article VIII, Section 1 of the Ohio Constitution, by including statutory requirements about its organization and structure. It creates an illegal second position for the governor, and this is a very interesting part of our Constitution, which says, and probably there's a reason, conflict of interest reason, that our governor can only serve as a governor and cannot be mandated to serve as the head of any other entity. And that also would violate Ohio's Constitution. It was written about quite widely about the debt liability issue that would be in violation of our Ohio Constitution. It also creates a joint venture between the state of Ohio and a corporation, which makes us a stockholder, which is a specific violation of the Ohio Constitution. And believe it or not, because they made this an appropriation, which is, I believe, one of the ways in which they tried to couch this to make it harder to file a suit. They also created another constitutional issue by doing that, and that this creates an appropriation much longer than 2 years. Again, in the past when we filed this, the governor has indicated that it was for job creation purposes that he believed that he was right to do this. I want to reiterate for everybody here, the issue here is not partisan politics. The issue here is the Ohio Constitution, and you cannot just ignore the Ohio constitutional provisions for political expediency. That is not an acceptable course for Ohioans, and it endangers the very fabric of what our government is founded on. With that, I guess we're open for questions.